So we've been talking about the bad day that CJ Stroud had in the playoffs. Not good yesterday. And I'll tell you what, it was Troy Aikman who said it on the broadcast, where he basically said this dude peaked in his rookie year and hasn't really done much since, and we need to figure out why that is. And I don't know if there's a great answer on that.
You know what the difference is?
What's that?
Is in his rookie year, he had Bobby Slowick, and now he has a different OC.
But wasn't he also the OC last year?
I think he was. They got rid of him last year.
Like mid-season, or maybe at the beginning of the season or something.
Yeah, because CJ got him fired.
Oh, wow.
Allegedly.
Maybe.
Wow.
So are you saying it's CJ?
Yes.
Well, I mean, at some point, when you're paid the millions of dollars to make it work, like it's got to be on you. And I don't think every one of those interceptions was on him yesterday. There were a couple that glanced off people's hands, but also he threw one that was he threw a pass that was so bad, it tore Cade Stover's ACL. Like, that's how, I mean, it did. You saw it. You saw it. Cade's trying to reach back for it, and his knee buckles and blew out his ACL. Like, I think, allegedly, that's what it looked like. Just saying, it was a bad pass. Like, this man did not, he made some bad throws. It's true, is it not? He was open and he had to reach back and his knee buckled, and I'm sorry, but it happened.
I'm the biggest CJ Stroud apologist that I know, going back to when people wanted to bench him after his first start against Minnesota on that weird Friday night game or whatever.
First half was terrible. His second half was much better.
But he's about to be on his third offensive coordinator. It's time to, like Tyvis says, to pull the thumb.
Yeah, right. Got to point yourself. At some level, you got to point yourself. And beyond that, I think it's worth having a broader discussion about quarterback development here at Ohio State, does it not? I mean, we know this offense can generate a lot of points. We see that it can obviously produce some very high completion percentages. And CJ, his rookie year, looked like, finally they've broken through, right? Because that was a thing that for a long time has dogged this program, pre-Ryan Day, pre-Urban Meyer. Going back for years and years and years, not having like first-round draft talent coming out of Ohio State, given all the other pieces that they hit on, wide receiver talent, secondary, corners, safeties, all that. We had guys at every position on the field, basically, offense, defensive line. Everyone seems to eat when they get to the NFL from Ohio State. You find lots of guys every year in the draft who go and have great careers. But at quarterback, who's the best quarterback the Buckeyes have produced? Go back and find it.
CJ Stroud, probably.
Probably, and he's now looking like that's what my point is here, is that even the guy that we kind of said, well, that's changed now, that's different. Justin Fields hasn't exactly gone out and lit the world on fire at quarterback. And I mean, I don't like that this is the narrative, but the narrative exists. I wonder why it is that Ohio State constantly has this problem, because it's not just on Ryan Day or anything like that, but obviously he's the guy who's supposed to be the quarterback developer who's here now. So what does that say about the current group of guys that are coming through and recruits that are trying to get developed here?
Well, the crazy part is you would think that it definitely impacts them draft wise, right? You would think like people would say, yeah, like it looked good in college. Is it the system? Is he just a system quarterback? I don't know. Yeah. And we didn't see Will Howard this year, so we don't know how the development in Pittsburgh went with him.
That's true. Maybe it'll turn out that he's the guy who fixes this.
We only got like of recent 3 quarterbacks under Ryan Day. That's Dwayne, Justin.
May he rest in peace, obviously.
Dwayne, Justin, and CJ. Because we haven't seen anything from Will.
And to take that even deeper, I don't know, this might be lunatic fringy, but you say their draft stock. What about the recruits that are like, man, I want to go to the NFL? And the Ohio State quarterbacks do not pan out in the NFL. Why would I want to go there? I'm not saying every quarterback's going to feel this way, but someone will.
Well, to your point, we've talked a lot about how wide receivers, you just come to Ohio State and you get developed. Now, obviously, Brian Hartline has left. We'll see if that narrative stays, but how many great wide receivers came here because they saw who came before them and said, well, he got developed and turned into a guy. I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba is doing tremendous things in the NFL. You can go down the list of guys who have had great careers as Ohio State wide receivers and clearly point to it and say, oh, yeah, they develop wide receivers there. So it's not even a fact of like, well, it's just on defense they developed guys, but not on offense. No, they've developed plenty of guys on offense. For some reason, the quarterback position, going back to Tressel and even before that, like, yeah, I'm not blaming any of the coaches necessarily. Ryan Day is here now. I think it's a relevant conversation for now, especially given you have questions probably around Julian saying a little bit about being a system guy. He had one of the highest completion percentages in a regular season that we've ever seen for a quarterback. Yet in the 2 games where he faced the toughest defenses, suddenly he looked very human. In a couple of games where he didn't have 2 top 10 draft picks at wide receiver in Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, he looked very human against very bad competition in the Big Ten. The question of development is going to be huge for him going into this year, right? Julian Sain was really good this year.
Technically.
But he has to get better next year. Otherwise, I don't think this offense is going to be as good. He's got to improve. That's on quarterback development.
Technically, CJ has regressed every year he's been in the league. His first year, he threw for 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks. The next year, he threw for 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. This year, he threw for 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Now, I will also say, if you're yelling at your car radio,
he got hurt for 3 games. Yes.
Okay. Well, what I was just going to say, I can understand if someone says, well, how's that Ryan Day's fault? It's been 3 years since he worked with CJ Stroud. That is fair. I agree with that. But the broader narrative that Ohio State quarterbacks don't pan out in the league, which, like I said, goes well beyond Ryan Day, goes well beyond Urban Meyer, I don't know how you fix that. I don't know what the issue is. And like you said, recruiting, I'm sure, has to be somewhat impacted by that. Tavian St. Clair is a Buckeye in part because that man grew up 45 minutes outside of Columbus and is a huge Buckeye fan and is clearly a talented player. So, like, it's not hurting you when you have a guy like that who's a homegrown, who's like a dyed-in-the-wool Buckeye. But I do wonder, outside of that, getting quarterback recruits to come here, the biggest success you've really had here at Ohio State under Ryan Day has been transfers, mostly, wouldn't we say? I mean, yeah. Justin Fields was a transfer. Obviously, Will Howard was a transfer.
Yeah.
And then the guy you got now, technically, although he was in Alabama for all of a month,
but
he was a transfer too.
But still, the best player on the team was somebody recruited.
Yeah, they still convinced someone to leave where they were and come to Ohio State.
No, I'm talking about Jeremiah Smith has been the best.
Well, I'm not talking. I'm saying with quarterback. I'm saying the success you've had at quarterback of the guys who've been good. CJ's the one who was here.
Yeah, I guess
but I'm saying most of the quarterbacks you've had here have been transferred.
I forgot Justin went to Georgia first.
Yeah, right.
Justin,
this is just an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Does it make us lunatic fringe? Maybe. It's the lunatic fringe. I'm clearly
You're always going to do that.
I know, but like what I'm saying is you two are not, and if you two are even saying, there might be a little something to this. If I'm getting a shoulder shrug out of you and going, maybe, I think it's a conversation that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
They keep getting the guys that we recruit keep getting beat out by transfers.
Yeah, that's a good point too. So something to keep an eye on.
By the way,
honestly, probably the guy who's the answer of who's been the most productive OSU quarterback is the guy who didn't play quarterback here.
Joe Burrow?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the answer.
By the way, I realized that I fired Houston's offensive coordinator on the air. They have not fired him yet.
Oh, okay.
I said they will. I said CJ's about to be on his 3rd one. They haven't fired him. I fired him.